Welcome to the Second Season Podcast, a podcast for athletes, entrepreneurs, and families chasing legacy. I'm Mason.
And I'm Danny, and we're getting straight to it. Man, I'm super excited for this episode.
Same.
It's crazy.
Same.
I'm super excited. What we want to talk about specifically today is pushing standards, especially in our society. Like, I know so many people, at least a lot of people, even in my network, where there is more ways to make money in our society now than there ever has been previously.
Amen. Yep.
The utilization of social media, platforms, social media, like kids are getting really creative on how to make money. And with that, I think people don't understand how making that money outside of a normal W-2 can lead to building wealth through real estate. So that's really what we want to touch on today.
Yeah, and it's super powerful because it's only going to be more and more. And if you think about like the life of our parents, we talk about this all the time, clocking into a factory, 9 to 5, like
It's just a different world.
it is a whole different world. If you even think about even 5 years ago, right? It's a different world. And you have people that are figuring out ways to make money and self-employed, right? Like funding their own dream and journey has actually been more and more common, I would say.
Which is awesome.
Right? Like think about your friends group.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they're all like, just making really creative, strategic moves. Whereas the, society in the past, you really wouldn't be doing that, right? It's like, hey, go to college for 4 years, get this job, get this W-2 job, prove to them. And I'm not saying that that's not okay too, right? But a lot of the people that I am doing transactions with, which is our friends, they are actually this box that we're talking about right now.
For sure. I think a lot of people in previous generations felt like they had to be put in a specific box, right? Going the conventional route, getting a mortgage for a home. I mean, there's so many different programs which we can jump into of someone who's self-employed, someone who's trying to create their own path, someone who's trying to build their own legacy and make money themselves. There's different ways they can get into a home. So I think it's super important. I think we're probably trending that direction.
Yeah, we are. Because, and what I call it right now is it's the takeover of non-QM. And I'll explain what that means. But the reason being is because if you don't fit in the box, right? The box that is the regular, it's called conventional government loans, right? The rules that the government has for you to qualify for a home. A lot of times you're doing well for yourself, but you either don't know how or you don't think it's possible to start exploring the real estate side as well.
Dude, I was stuck in that box.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, because there's no education on it.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And when I started doing this and doing loans and helping people, like I look back, so even like 5 years ago, I look back and I would say maybe it's 10% this non-QM, which I'll talk about here next. But like non-QM is loans that don't fit the traditional box, right? Self-employed people, majority of self-employed people.
You're not having a normal paycheck come in every 2 weeks.
Right. You're your own boss.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And what's happened is that it's becoming more and more of a norm, and the industry is accepting it, providing more and more options. Because 5 years ago, let's say it was 5 to 10% of transactions, and that's been trending up. And then if you look at last year, it was like almost 35, 40% of transactions. I look at this year for me, and it's because of our friends group, right? But it's almost every other transaction.
It's the loan we did last week.
Yeah.
On the house we just bought up north.
Amen. Yeah, exactly. And that's what's happening. It's like, so I think I'm at like, if I really looked at my stats, I'm like 30 days ago, I was at like 48% of this non-QM box.
Yeah.
And this is not, so yes, it's creative financing, but it's not hard money, right? Like Danny is going to talk a lot about how he has made plays through hard money, creative finance, other people's money. These are loans that you can get and you can qualify for. And I like the phrase, it was like, you can have your cake and eat it too in this world, because you can be a grinder.
For sure.
And I'm not a tax accountant, right?
Yeah.
You need a good tax accountant.
Yeah. Bookkeeper.
Because if you are a grinder, there are rules that are set up for you to be able to take advantage of the tax code in the United States, right? Like you have to take advantage of that. And so what it makes a lot of people scared to show money on paper because they don't want to get bent over by the feds having to pay in their taxes, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So that's where this non-QM box comes in.
Yeah, and I think even this loan program in specific, like I love it because I think allows people to push standards in our society.
Yeah, amen.
Find new ways to make money. So I literally heard of an example, 12-year-old kid in Arizona. His job is he goes around all the neighbors and he goes to the front door and he says, hey, I'll take your garbage can from your garage all the way down to the end of the street and just pay me a monthly subscription fee. Kid's 12 years old.
That's insane.
He goes to like 40 houses. You do the math, like 40 houses, you do $5 either way and a one-time fee up front. Like kids are getting creative on how to make money in this world. It's awesome.
That's insane. And one thing that we talk about, a little off topic here, but we talk about a lot is that, so our city, there's a lot of killers, like the older generation who were killers, scooped up a bunch of homes for cheap, right? Have huge rental portfolios, but they're on their way out. And what I tell us I use the word tweener a lot, right? Tweener leaders, it's like, it doesn't mean that the world is just for the taking for us, because there's smart young people coming, and that is part of pushing forward now, because we have to be building these platforms and then adapt to the change, because that will be constant, right?
I mean, I think a lot of people in my generation, in my mid-20s, like half the battle, I'd say 70% of the battle is just showing up.
Yep.
Like if you just show up, like at least you put yourself in a position to find opportunity and source opportunity to what could change your life.
Right. And then what we're talking about of like grinders, entrepreneurs right now kind of paving their own way, like the times, let's talk about this perk of this really quick, which is why this is something, it's something that more and more people are just like trusting their gut and going. We talk a little bit about like, hey, you don't have a ton of overhead right now because you don't have kids yet. Yeah. Right. And a lot of people are in that scenario where it's like, hey, if you're going to take a risk right now, because who you become through that, because you can grind in the morning. Like for instance, I'll tell you my schedule. I'm up at 5 to grind, so that way I can still lift weights and hoop almost every day, right? And think about that. Like think about our parents, right? Clocking in the city that I grew up in, where half the city worked at the GM factory before it closed down. Like you're not at the factory leaving to go hoop at lunch.
No.
There's such a gift that you can give yourself that the younger generation is giving themselves. Oh yeah. Right? And so how do they fund real estate, right? By doing that. Yeah. And it's through this creative box. It's called the non-QM box. And what's so cool about this is that you can use bank statements to qualify. Bank statements as income to qualify. And that is something that was not super common in the past. Yeah. And no, I'm not the only lender in the United States that allows bank statements to qualify. There's a handful of us. But I will tell you that once somebody uses this product, they're in this non-QM bucket for life, because they can stay aggressive on their taxes, within reason, refer to an accountant on that, right? Yeah. But hey, it's the end of the year. Like we got 30 days till the end of the year. Yeah. I'm hoping somebody self-employed hears this right now. Because when I started doing this, the thought was, like, for instance, my real estate agent friends, right? Dude. We all grew together. So it's like, okay, year 1, you make no money. You show no money on your Schedule C, right? Year 2, you're like, oh my gosh, I have to go try to make some money. And hold on, the paradigm shift happened for you because you started learning about this and you're like, hey, hold up, I'm about to file. This was however long ago, right?
I should be careful what I say, but I told my accountant, I'm like, hey, I need to be careful, like, how much I write off this year, or like what I can write off, because I need to show some income to get what I thought was a traditional mortgage.
Because that's how it always was.
That's how people have always thought.
And so it's like, okay, I got to show as much income. I'm not saying to not, like, you still have to show your income, but if people would have known prior to that year recapping where you could have went and gone and spent some money on your business, right? That are legal write-offs. Yeah. Like you should go and stimulate your business, stimulate your journey. Get qualified off bank statements that show your actual cash flow, and then take advantage of the United States tax code, because it's there for a reason.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of like running your own business, is the government wants to put more money in your pocket to spend more money on your business, to grow your business and give back to the economy.
Amen. That's how you stimulate the economy.
Exactly.
So this box that people are qualifying for, this non-QM box, and what you can use is you can use business bank statements. You can use assets as income. Let me give you an example. This story literally gives me the chills because, look, I'm not a doctor, right? Like, but I get in these situations where I just feel like I'm actually in a position to help somebody so much, and it's the most rewarding thing. And about 8-9 months ago, had a guy call me, and he was falsely imprisoned out of the country in war. He was literally taken to jail in a different country. Hear me out here.
Okay.
Was there, I want to say, for like 2 years. No job. Comes back home. He's able to come back home. It's like national media. He comes back home. He's working with a builder. The builder says, hey, you got to call Mace because I know that you're not working right now. It's
Don't
like,
fit in a box.
But there might be something that he can help you with. So I get this call. He tells me his first, last name, starts telling me his story. I like have chills because I'm like, okay, I'm in a position to help this guy, right? Like find a home that he feels safe and comfortable in after everything this dude's gone through.
Been through. Yeah.
He starts talking to me that he has assets. He's just not working. And it's like, boom, I knew I could help, bro. And you only know what you know on this journey, because what I mean by that is earlier in my journey, if I would have gotten that call and I knew he wasn't working, right? The ability to repay, to get a mortgage, I know he wasn't working. Instantly, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is an amazing opportunity to help somebody, but I probably can't help.
Yeah, you write it off.
You know what I'm saying? I probably can't help. And if he's not working, I don't think there's anybody that can help.
And dude, I think that the access to the phone, the internet, social media platforms, like you have so much access to education. And if you're not willing to tap into that, like that's on you.
Right. Well, like shout out to the leaders though, who are the ones that are sharing this with their people.
Yeah.
Like for instance, in this situation, I was able to help this guy.
Yeah.
A leader was involved. He's like, hey, because of what you just said, he has access to his phone. We have the ability to properly communicate with our people on, hey, here's what's working. Here's how we can help people, right? So as soon as this guy's telling this other leader the story, he's instantly thinking like, no, I know that your gut tells you probably can't do this, but there might be a way.
Look, find a way.
Right? And that is the power of educating people on this, because you can do both.
Yeah.
You used to not be able to.
Yeah.
And America knows that right now, which is why there's lenders like us and other lenders who are coming to the game more and more with options of people who don't fit the box.
So how long you been in the mortgage business for?
6 years.
Okay, so we're seeing the non-QM route more and more. Where do you think we're going?
We're trending more and more and more, and it's all because of what we're talking about right now. Because what used to be something that was like this big risk that parents are gonna shun you for to do is now becoming more and more popular, right? Trade school, self-employed businesses.
Dude, there's a huge demand for
and a lot of these kids, like they have the opportunity to go do exactly what we're talking about. And if you look back, like, and I'll tell my story on here at one point, but I went to college to hoop, broke my leg, right? And I'm like, I am done going to college.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing against college. I remember looking at my boy in class, like, bro, I don't even know what we were talking about. Something I don't even know, right? I've never used. And I'm like, I am not doing this anymore. But that's when it was not cool to do that. Like I was like, bro, I didn't want to let my mom and dad down. My mom and dad sacrificed so much. Like I remember calling my mom. I did it before I called my mom and dad, because I was not going to let anybody talk me out of, I'm going full send on this journey. But also that was, society did not accept that back then. And I tell you that story because you fast forward 15 years and it's more accepted than ever.
Yeah, now it is. Nowadays.
Parents want that for their kids. They see the value of time. They see the value of time. It's like, hey, if there's another way, you can go do it.
And I think it just comes down to like how you apply yourself and what you apply yourself into, right? Like it doesn't have to be sitting in a classroom learning about finance or economics or whatever it is. Like you can educate yourself through YouTube. You can educate yourself through podcasts. You can put yourself around other people who are super successful, right? Doing what you want to do. That was one of the big reasons why I joined Moxie Real Estate and Development. Like I wanted a different environment. I wanted to up my skills and be around other people that were doing bigger things that I hadn't done yet.
Amen.
Right? So you got to put yourself in rooms with those people.
Amen, dude. And I will tell you this, it's funny, on that educating yourself note, I was always an athlete and good student, but based upon like my street smarts and common sense. I really wasn't like book smart, if that makes sense.
I was the same way.
Right? Like I could get E's for days.
I'll tell people what I graduated with in high school. I graduated with a 2.8 in high school.
Whoa, I thought you were way smarter than that.
No, but here, okay, college was better. College was better. I had a 3.7 in college.
I was like cum laude or something, just off my street smarts.
So,
well, hey, on that same note, what's funny about it is that because society had instilled that in my head, I still felt like 15 years later, is even throughout my success, that I still kind of let my mom and dad down in that. And I always said, Mama, I'm going to go back to school. But here's a nugget that I want to give young people that maybe feel like this too, who maybe like thought they were going to do one journey and ended up doing a different journey. I ended up going back to school, but it's in what I love, and it's in the Forward Academy. And we're going to continue to talk about this, but I literally pay out of my pocket.
Paying for proximity.
to go in and learn and who I become in those meetings and who I'm around, it's the greatest school in learning, because when you're learning about something that you're actually into, that you can apply to life, it is one of the greatest joys, dude.
Yeah.
So from
It's a
somebody
passion.
who wasn't a great student, but now who is a student of the game daily.
Yeah.
Like part of my disciplines are, I have to be learning about what's going on, because if not, I'm going to get left behind, bro.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Dude, there's a great quote that I'm thinking about. So one of my buddies at Moxie said this, and I don't remember exactly how he phrased it, but he's like, sometimes you have to pay tuition to the game.
Amen.
And there's so many different different things that can mean, but it's either, I lost money on a flip last year. It was the first time I lost money on a deal.
Yep.
But on the same side, like I was taking enough at bats, right? Like I'm putting myself in a position, like if you're not doing enough projects, you don't lose money once in a while, you're probably not doing enough projects.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's a big learning lesson, right?
Yep.
You gotta pay back to the game.
Yep.
So, it's huge.
Well, okay. So these self-employed people right now that are listening, that I really, really hope are tuned in on what we're talking about. What I would do if I were you is I would go to your lender, right? There are lenders who do bank statement loans. I do bank statement loans. There's great lenders all across the country who do bank statement loans. You need to get with your lender. You need to see, okay, bank statement wise, this is if you want to make a play in the next year. Primary residence, second home, investment
End
property.
of year coming up.
Right. End of year is coming, but there's still time to spend money on your business. So go to your lender and figure out, hey, if I go bank statement, what would I qualify for? You need to know this, because then you can determine, are you going to get aggressive on your spending of your business, right? Before the end of the year, because once the end of the year happens, like the expenses are done.
Yeah, you got to have a plan for your dollars.
100%. So like a lot of my consults this last couple of weeks, it's with all of our friends of like, hey, here's what you could do, right? And then maybe we go that route. You go spend some money on your business. You don't have to show as much on your Schedule C or your S Corp or whatever that may be. Let's just use your bank statements to qualify, and you can still accomplish and have both, right?
Yeah.
So it's just one of these things that a lot of times you feel like it's not possible, and it's because it's not how it has been. It's not how it was.
No, it's
different. Not how the rules have been. But the game has changed. The game has changed, and it's actually favoring these doers.
Yeah.
It is, but it's about educating on yourself on how to do.
Yeah. Dude, there are young kids out there that are like seriously pushing standards and creating new ways and new paths to make money in the real world.
Right. Well, you think
So
of your
many
age,
ways, dude.
and a lot of people don't know how young you are, right? But all of your friends, like your circle, you guys are like the definition of like the younger generation, but that had a head start on what we're talking about right now, which is why you guys are all in your mid-20s, crushing.
Last time I had a W-2 was I was in 9th grade. I was washing dishes at a sandwich shop. It was the last time I ever had a W-2. So when I graduated college, like, I was fortunate enough, I had my college paid for, like playing sports in college was great. And I came out of school and I didn't realize how much that benefited me without having debt.
Amen, bro.
So I'm very fortunate for that. But like, I wanted to pave a way for myself. Like I haven't had a W-2. So like people can do it. Like it's out there. And if there's a time to do it, like do it in your mid-20s. At least for me, worst case scenario, I'm going back to stay with my parents in Petoskey, which is not a bad life. So I'm like, you know what? Like, let's give it a shot.
Yeah. And,
so,
bro, I really think you said something, really powerful there, in the sense that a lot of people right now that are figuring out a way to not get a bunch of student loan debt. And I'm not saying, like, hear me out. I just had a friend that I haven't seen in a while. He went to dental school for 10 years. Now he has his own practice.
Okay.
Like he put in that grind. It's paying him back. He's in his 30s. He has his own practice. He gets to help a ton of people. So like school for that, great. Right. But the other side of that, where I'm seeing and helping a lot of people manage that debt, because real estate's a tool in doing so, right? Like it is really motivating to see this next generation and what's possible. Because if that's not looming over them, opens the doors for a lot more. I always, exactly what you just said, I always say, I'm so grateful that because I bounced a basketball, I had school paid for. Like, let's think about that.
100%.
Right? And how
you don't
that
realize
set
until
us up for success. And that's another reason why, and it's on top of my nephew being in the Air Force, but that's another reason why I have the utmost respect for the military. And I will do anything I possibly can to help a veteran, because when I'm playing basketball, they're in Iraq, bro.
I know.
And it's stuck with me to this day. We're in college.
My stepbrother's in the Air Force, man.
We're in college and practice, and these cats are like up at 5 a.m.
fighting for our freedoms.
Amen. And so that is why basketball, like in basketball, that was that for us. But sports in general, kids do it because it's fun. Parents do it because it makes their kids happy, right? They give that joy and they want to see their kids succeed.
Yep.
You don't realize the power of playing sports until later in life.
Dude, I always tell people, I'd say the two biggest things I got from going to college wasn't necessarily what I learned in the classroom, but it was my time management skills, balancing sports and taking 15 or 18 credits a semester. And it was time management and it was discipline.
Yep.
Those are the two biggest takeaways that were probably the most applicable to my life now.
Yep.
Outside of learning about, the Pythagorean theorem and geometry or whatever.
Right.
I was never going to use that.
Amen, dude.
So, and maybe I will, but
yeah, maybe small chance.
Start building some houses or something.
But you're hearing it here first. Like this is college grad, D1 plus college grad.
Yeah,
bro, that is not easy.
No,
right? And then you think like I have a buddy Sam. He plays at Navy. He's D1 in the military. Then going to be a college grad. Like the amount of responsibility with that is insane.
Yeah,
this last weekend I was at the grassroots AAU basketball tournament. I went and watched my cousin's son, who we're super close with. He's my boy's cousins, and he's really, really good. He's one of the better fourth graders in the state, right?
Yeah.
And absolute beast. My kids look up to him. We go there. He's in an environment, and I text my buddy who I coach with. I text my brother. I text a bunch of our family members. Like, you don't really realize that how tough sports make you until you go to a fourth grade basketball game and it's a full court press and the defense is screaming in the other fourth grader's face.
You got the parents standing up. They're like so involved.
And these kids are 8 and 9 or 9 and 10, right? And then but they're dealing with that in the moment, and it's shaping them to be animals. And I text my cousin, his mom, after the game, and I was so proud of him. Bro, balled out. Bunch of rebounds, good buckets,
Hustling.
Great teammate, in the whole game, playing good defense. Dude went crazy. And my kids are, screaming his name. But I told him, and I texted his mom this after the game, what you are doing right now is so much bigger than basketball. Like, and I really think in my family, he actually has a chance to be like really big time.
Yeah.
But even if he is, what he's doing is still bigger than him being big time.
Dude, like having adversity, being pushed at that age. And I don't know, I kind of go back and forth on AAU, and I haven't been in that space in a long time. Like when I was growing up playing AAU, I don't think it was quite as serious as it is now. Like, dude, parents are driving all over I mean, you can speak to that. They're driving all over every weekend, going to tournaments.
Yep.
But when you're playing sports at that young of an age, and there's that much adversity being thrown at you, and you still are willing to get up every morning and get on the court and do something that you love, like that's going to benefit you 100-fold down the road.
Yeah, well, the biggest blessing of AAU, because I feel you on this, and that's why community ed stuff is super important, because kids need to fall in love with the game. I'm 34. I love the game. You know how much I hoop.
Dude, you go to hoop today.
I literally love the game, bro.
Yeah.
But it's because I played it and enjoyed it. But the thing about AAU, which I like, and I'm not a fan of all the AAU, right? Because there's a bad side to it, and a side that it's like, do I really even want to deal with this shit, right? But the thing I like about it is that you can be the man in your town, you can be the man with your boys, but you're gonna get humbled.
You're gonna get humbled,
and being humbled is a beautiful thing.
Oh yeah, I've been dunked on,
bro. You already know, but you've also dunked on somebody.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And like I always think back, like, I always talk about my relationship with my parents and just how grateful I am, because we had a modest life, right? And had everything we needed. But now knowing the sacrifice of like my mom being like, hey, I'm gonna drive you or Z to Indiana or across a different state to go hoop on the weekends.
It was such a blessing.
With what the like making means, like doing what they can, right, to make sure that we have a good life, paying for our sports and stuff, but then really like taking the time to leave work early on a Friday, drive us across the country to go bounce a basketball. Like it's a gift that my mom and dad gave me, dude, and like that is why I coach.
Yeah.
Like I always
give back, dude. It's the perspective shift.
Like, man, if I could make a kid feel the way my mom and dad made me feel, the time that my dad gave me, so like it's just funny, basketball, and here we are talking about it, and we'll always talk about it because the mold of basketball for us, and that can be soccer, that could be, track, football, whatever that is, volleyball, swimming, whatever that is, because that is what fuels the rest of this journey, the lens of life after an athlete,
and you,
right?
I mean, you enjoy the moment. Like You can speak to it. I know I can speak to it. Like, man, it goes fast. Like, you blink and next thing you know, you're in the real world. So enjoy it. Like, enjoy that moment.
Well, bro, this last weekend, what really hit me, so I walk inside the gym.
Was this when you were with the Pistons?
No, this was after. Yeah, the Pistons was a couple weeks ago. So this was this last weekend here in Grand Rapids. I walk inside the gym. It's late. It's packed. We had already hooped 2 games. Both Kane and Storm had a game. I took them to go watch their older cousin that they look up to. And what I didn't realize, bro, I ran into 6 different people that I had hooped against going back either 25 years or 10 years ago, whatever that may be.
Kids.
All their kids are hooping. Bro, all of their kids are hooping. And we're like locking eyes, like, bro, like hugging each other. In that secret society of like respect and love. It's like, bro, and then looking at my kids like, yo, I used to hoop against your dad. And like, I'm telling
stories. You're telling
you know
stories.
What I'm saying? I'm telling their kids like, bro, your dad's cold. Like, it's just, it's such a blessing. And like, it's all coming tenfold now at the phase that we're in with my sons. Because, you know, as you start having kids and a lot of our friends have kids, they start out little and life, like basketball, none of that stuff matters. Football, none of that stuff matters. Just their joy matters. But as they get older, it's like them being passionate and good at something, that's what brings them joy.
Fuels their fire already.
It's more fun than fun is fun. Right? Like that is more fun than fun is fun. And when that hits for them, that is when everything changes.
Do you think some of these kids are getting pushed like way too hard in middle school? Like, you know how like when we grew up, like, dude, we used to go hoop at the park. Like, it wasn't that serious.
I was just talking to dad.
It's like a business. I'm like, some of these kids are in 2nd grade. Like, dude, this is a business already. I'm like, the kid's 8 years old.
I was talking to a dad Friday night, bro. And like, his son he's already got D1 offers. He was cold. This dad that I used to play with 15, he's one of the coldest dudes I've ever hooped with. And he literally told me, he's like, bro, the middle school AAU circuit is way too long.
It's too serious too.
Like, and I was thinking back in the day, like, bro, we were playing at Delta Mills Park every day. 3s. Play. Figure out a way. It's not like this big structure. And don't get me wrong. And now here I am coaching a travel 2nd grade team. Right. But at that same token,
clipboard
like,
mace,
bro, they need to play for fun more because it's going to allow them to love the game like I do in their 30s and 40s. Bro, I'm going to the gym today to hoop. Dave Pasiak, if he ever sees this, but he's 65. Business owner, entrepreneur. You know who he's talking about. Yeah. Take him lightly. He's going to shimmy you and hit you with a fadeaway off the glass and baptize
you,
for the
love of the game.
100%. And here's what's crazy. What we're talking about right now. He went on this journey, owned his own financial practice his whole life. And he's 65 still hooping because of it. He went the road less traveled, prioritized his health, prioritized his family, incredible family man. He's 65, bro. I'm 34. I've been hooping for 30 years.
Ever since you could walk.
He has hooped for 31 more years than me. Nuts.
Still loving it.
Amen, bro. And that is what's so cool about this journey of entrepreneurship, because you can really hold on to what is that joy? Like, what pushes you? What makes you feel like a kid inside? Like what gets you going?
What would you tell? So like if you're in your lower mid 20s, right? You're just starting your journey. If that's flipping houses or getting in real estate, or you're going to start drop shipping or Amazon arbitrage, whatever you're going to do, if you're going to sell a service, like how would you tell them to like work-life balance? Like work-life balance to me means a lot of, I think probably a different thing than a lot of people. Like when you're getting started, like you're not going to know all the answers. Like you're going to have to figure it out on the fly. Like what would you tell someone who's just getting started in their business?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it always brings me back. And it's so funny because what I would tell them now is way different than what I would have told them 5 years ago.
Dreams are allowed to change.
Amen.
Dude, when you said that on our first episode, if you haven't watched the first episode, you should go watch it. But that was a quote I've never heard before. And I can relate, even being out of college for 3 years, like my dreams have changed a lot in the past 3 years. And like I haven't realized that until you said it out loud.
So well, and it's also something else. And like this quote, which I don't even know where I heard this or whatever, but it's like, you only know what you know. Like that quote allowed myself to give myself grace throughout the years of trying and failing forward and forward because you only know what you know, right? But going back to like, what would I tell them? I would tell them that if you continue to build enough momentum in the things that fill you up, if you walk around filled up every day, doing what you love, there is no way that your energy is not contagious. There is no way that you don't develop a light that you can shine to help others. If you are walking in your purpose, you are unstoppable. And the reason why I say this answer would be different than 5 years ago, because I don't like to proudly admit, like, bro, when I started, I was very successful, chose my family, had to get out of my last career, started the mortgage journey, broke, bro. I had no choice. I was literally in this, I don't like to admit this, I was staying up until 6 o'clock in the morning writing loans, bro. Sleeping for an hour, taking my kids to school, coming back, doing it all over again. And that is not the way.
Dude.
That is not the way. And you think it's the way because it's about survival. And if you're in survival for a little bit, cool. Figure out a way to be a beast in the survival, but get your ass out of it.
Yeah.
Because if you are going towards something so hard, you start to lose sight of what's really important. And this is, DK, something I'll say until the day I die, bro. But what I do, which I'm really passionate about, and I'm so grateful that it's going good and that we're really successful in, but what I do will be the fourth coolest thing that I have going on for the rest of my life. It will be the fourth coolest thing I got going on for the rest of my life. Because the first coolest thing has got to be my health. Because if I'm not waking up, if I'm not showing up for myself, the second coolest thing has got to be my spouse, bro.
Yeah.
It's got to be Carol. And it's got to be my boys seeing that I love their mom and how to try to take care of somebody that you love.
For sure.
The third coolest thing is always going to be my kids. Always. Because if I'm healthy and I'm in a good relationship with their mother, I can be the father that I want to be to them.
Yeah.
And that is my totem pole.
Yeah.
And then the fourth coolest thing is this journey.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that is why
journey.
Advice will change. It will change because you change.
Dude, I'm in the same boat. Like, getting started, like, I was pushing 100 miles an hour. Not that I still don't, and I still have to remind myself sometimes, but like, dude, you got to focus on your health. Like, you got to take care of yourself before you can take care of someone else.
Amen, bro.
And I don't know who, I've heard that from someone else. I don't know who it was, but it's so true. Like, I remember when I was getting started, dude, I was living with Skeen. And when I first started my real estate business, I was living with him and I was so grateful. He was making a ton of money. I couldn't pay for rent for the first like 6 or 7 months of the business. Like, he was just eating it. And I just told him, like, I'm going to get you back. Like, I'll pay you back. That's how I got started. Like, I had to lean on other people to get there. So,
well, sometimes you just got to scrape your way out, bro.
You have to.
Because if what you're saying no to is for a greater yes, if what you're grinding towards is for a greater purpose that you know, that is going to come to fruition. You see these people who walk with faith. I don't care what your faith is, but you see these people who walk with faith. You see these people who walk with confidence. They already know. They, like, these pro athletes, the other person is not guarding that pro athlete. They are playing themselves out there because it's all upstairs and they're not going to be stopped. Right? So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Every episode, we're diving into real talk about our family, faith, financial freedom. If this hits home, please like, subscribe, share with a friend, and we'll see you on the next episode.